there. Our keynote speaker of the day is Miss Forbes Riley. I love Forbes. Forbes, I want to tell you something in advance. Remember when you spoke at the event a couple weeks ago at our networking event? My video got kicked off of YouTube and Facebook because you had music on it. I know. What's up with that? Oh, I can't hear you. Are you muted? You might be muted. Hit that button on your desk.
You're allowed to use, it's funny. You're allowed to use a little bit of music. You're allowed to do lip syncing. It's fascinating to me what they will and will not let you do today.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it's crazy, but so with that, I'm going to ask you just not to play any music today because I did edit it all out, but it's like I had to go back and find it all. But I just love Forbes Riley. I met her. It's so funny, Forbes. I don't know if you know this. The first time I actually met you was at Manny Lopez's event I think it was in Orange County. And you were up on stage and you were like, she was like really moving the crowd. Amazing. I just love Forbes's energy, as you're going to see if you haven't heard of her yet. But she was moving the audience and everything. She was like, people come up on the stage. And nobody was going up on the stage. And I'm like, hell, I'm going up on the stage. So I ran up to the stage and she was like, it was like she knew me. And that's what I want to talk about Forbes Riley. It's like, I have her bio here. I'm not going to talk about this because that's really what's important here is Forbes Riley. Like, even though she's the $2.5 billion woman and she's the pitch queen, Forbes Riley is a human being and she is so amazing. I've interviewed her several times for my show. She's going to be in our book coming up called Invisible No More, Invincible Forevermore. And I just love how relatable she is. So even though she's like this star and she's done all this amazing stuff, has, just it's absolutely incredible. She is so down to earth, relatable, and she gets in your face when she needs to and when you need her to. So with that said, I want to welcome our keynote speaker, Forbes Riley. Forbes, we got 50 minutes on the clock, and I know it's going to be hard for you to keep it under 2.5 hours because she was with us 2.5 hours last time. It was amazing. So let's go.
Now, I don't know if YouTube will allow me to play a YouTube video, but I just might want to do that. For those of you who don't know who I am, it's kind of exciting to go, okay, wait, she really is on television. So either Linda, you want to play something or shall I?
Go ahead.
Well, and make sure that this is actually seen on your screen. It's a nice little introduction.
Yes.
Can you guys see that screen?
Yes.
See if it'll make it larger. And somehow my YouTube doesn't want to go larger on the screen. It's very odd.
Everybody's desk in everybody's house.
Okay, so there we go.
She's the queen of infomercials. It is Forbes Riley.
Forbes Riley is fun. She's interesting. You've got 5 minutes. You've got the time. Forbes Riley is dynamic. She helps people.
You've lost 140 pounds.
She's eclectic. She's a storyteller. And I talk about her in the third person because sometimes I can't believe that I get to be that person.
All the vegetables are in that one glass? That's actually good.
I have made for you a gourmet panini, but it's so easy.
I love it.
So I'm the $2 billion host. That's wild.
Okay, so we're here at the HSN.
This has been home for a very long time, for like 25 years. That's showing right now how many minutes they've been on air, how many they've sold. I need to see a number of 60,000. Oh, okay. Remember, I don't sell products. I provide solutions. Big difference. Most people don't dream big enough. There's nothing worse than being like my dad, who had great inventions and no one ever saw them.
This is my product, Forbes Riley Spin Gym.
Can you imagine fitness anywhere, anytime? The hardest thing in the world is to come up with a dream. Somebody has a vision that is so bizarre. You're gonna fall off the end of the earth, Christopher Columbus, don't do it. But he did it. JFK said we're going to the moon. I think that's why I'm still here. The world needs me. Women need me. I think they need a role model.
I think Spin Gym should be in everybody's car, at everybody's desk, in everybody's house. I never get tired of the reaction of a single person.
Amazing.
It feels like really sexual. I love that reaction.
All right, we'll just leave it on the really sexual line because that sounds like a really good place to start, doesn't it? All right, everybody give me a big round of applause to get started again. Oh. All right, so Linda, thank you very, very much. One of the things that I do love to do is I do love to interact. So if you guys want to come on screen, I find it much more appealing on a Zoom call if you can to see smiling faces as opposed to just seeing names, but I'm good either way. I'm actually in a phenomenal mode and mood. Give a big shout out and thank you to Trainer Jane. One of the things is we can support each other to make unique ways to make money. I'm tired of people suffering. And as I'm watching my 17-year-old daughter who is halfway through her senior year in high school. She's starting 2 companies next week. And to date, since COVID in July, she's grossed almost $300,000. Want to know what she's doing? Yeah, one of the things she's doing is listening to me. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's what she'll tell you. She kind of grew up with me, and she has a no boundary kind of attitude when it comes to creating and having people not tell you and not put you in a box and not tell you who you think you are. So for me, my name is Forbes Riley. I'm not going to bore you with any slides. If you go to Google, you can find all kind of crazy things about me. I'm focused on right now helping people like you to communicate better. I am so tired of you guys I'm going to have to go to gallery view. I see my face too big. Of talking endlessly and not saying anything. Of not understanding how to communicate. And then you're like, how come my ideas aren't heard? How come I'm not making any money? Because you're not saying anything. I can't even get people to introduce themselves properly so that I get excited by them. And I've gotten a little militant about this because it's not about me. I made money. I'm great. I grossed $2.5 billion. I understand how to talk through a TV camera. It's been a phenomenal life. I'm in love at the moment, which makes me even more wanting to hang out with you guys. I know I really am. I'm in love with the most beautiful man in the world. And I'm not joking. His name is Joshua Self. And it's so interesting, that story that evolved, because I didn't find him till I was 57 years old. So it's not like I didn't suffer a fair amount. Do me a favor. Every narcissist in the world we have to, you know how they want to put chips in us and vaccines? If you're discovered a narcissist, we have to tattoo it on your freaking forehead. Narcissist, beware, move away, because they look like everybody else. They're very sneaky people. Got involved with too many of them, got screwed over by too many of them. And I'm here to talk about it. And I'm no longer here to hold on to it. That's the big difference between where I was and who I am now. I'm going to encourage you guys to have a version of yourself yesterday and a version of yourself tomorrow. We're calling it before Forbes and after Forbes. So we're A, D, C, B, C. Isn't that very bold of me? But if somebody were to wake you up out of the coma that you've been in, and maybe it's not just you, but it's people around you. It's been a year of president, this, that, there's things that actually don't physically touch your personal life, but we're obsessed with them. You know, I made a video many years ago called Turn Off the News. And if you've ever been in the news, I raised a little kid from South Central. Got him when he was 8 years old. Dexter was a little blacker than my t-shirt, my shirt. From South Central. My ex was a big 6'6" white guy. I had Dexter in my life for 12 years. He was best man at my wedding. After 6 months after my little baby twins were born, I was 42. He was walking from a haircut to church. Dexter had a mentor. We took care of him. Every weekend we'd go on vacations. We showed him that the world was not what his people were telling them world was. And kid who didn't have a mentor, didn't listen to me, had no idea who I was, walked up behind my boy and unloaded a clip into his back, shot him 10 times, left him for dead on the sidewalk on his way to church. Yeah, so we were the news. My wedding photo with Dexter was on the front page of the LA Times. That sucks. Wow. And then I spent 3 years tracking down his killer, who's spending 52 years to life in jail. So if you want to talk about news, I know it's like to be in the front page news. Stood on the 37th floor of the Mandalay Bay, taking a picture with my beautiful Joshua on October 1st, Sunday night. About a minute and a half before the guy on the left took a machine gun and decided to kill 55 people on my right down to the concert. Oh, that's right here on my iPhone. Right there, right there, right there. Google that, take a look at that. Then I spent a couple of weeks on the news. It almost killed me because PTSD is real. So I would turn off the news unless you're personally involved in it and get back to your life and start to figure out what it is that you're doing here. How much time do you have left? What do you want to do with it? Why do you do what you do? And what makes you happy? Because if I actually asked you guys what makes you happy, do you know?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I want to be a speaker. I want to write more books. That I've written a couple. I want to write more books. I want to speak. I want to influence more people, be a great coach.
Right. So Cynthia, and I apologize for putting you on the spot, but you know what? That's a good place to be, because if you have the ability to talk to all of these people and have them hear what you're up to, why not take it? Because it would influence all of those things. But I'm going to tell you what you didn't just do that I would advise all of you to do. And Cynthia, do I have your permission to play with you and do this? Just
okay.
Yes, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm a mom. But not funny. You're so cute. You need to. All right. You just got yourself a free pass to Sunday. If you want to come to Pitch Secrets Masterclass on Sunday, I will give you here. Just reach out to me on Facebook and tell I just gave you a free pass. On Sunday, I teach people how to pitch. And so, Cindy, what I'm basically using your energy for, by the way, I'm very energetically and very intuitive. So I obviously talk to you for a reason, and maybe there is a way that I can help you. And by helping you, it is just literally moving you forward. I know lots of people. If you actually said to me, I want to be a speaker, coach, whatever, I just took 150 authors and turned them into bestsellers for, One Habit for Entrepreneurial Success, the largest entrepreneurial book ever. Because there's Jane's holding it because we said yes. So number one, enjoy being put on the spot. If somebody like me or any other speaker turns to you at that moment, be prepared. I actually make my students be prepared to walk into an elevator and have their idol right there. Because if this manifesting thing is real, they will show up. And it's just crazy, and they will show up. So for example, I wrote a book. I went to LA because I wanted an A-lister to be my forward. I was going to do a party with Paula Abdul. She seemed like the right person. I'd never met her. And so I went with the intention of Paula Abdul is going to be in my book. I don't know Paula, but we happen to be at the same event. Okay. But before that, because I know what I want to be saying at all times, because I know if I talk about my opportunity, it will come true. I'm at the Beverly Hot Springs, which is a rather low key, but very celebrity oriented Korean hot springs. And I've met everybody there. I mean, I actually stood next to Charlize Theron and I didn't know what to say to her, but whatever. But I always have my spin gym, right? Because I always know what I want to say. So I'm there and I believe I see Vivica Fox. Everybody know who Vivica Fox is? Yeah, I'm a huge fan and I'm very starstruck. The cool thing is we're both completely naked, which is kind of funny, right? And so I always try to figure out how can I meet somebody without saying, oh my God, I really like your work, because nobody wants to hear that. And I put it together very quickly that she was in Independence Day. Girl I grew up tap dancing with, Margaret Colin, played Jeff Goldblum's girlfriend. Wow, my head full of useless knowledge. I walked up to Vivica and I'm like, oh my God, Vivica, I know friends of Margaret Colin. We met, remember? And she's like, yeah, that's called future pacing. I said, how you doing? She said, great. I said, what are you up to? She said, oh, I'm doing this. I'm traveling around. I said, oh my gosh, do you want to see something cool? Now we're naked in the locker room, okay? And I took out my spin gym. I said, come here, give me your thumbs. And I do what I do to everybody. I put it on her thumbs and she starts doing this. She's like, oh my God, this is really cool. I could take this everywhere. I'm traveling a whole lot. Wow. And then she said, how do I get one of these? And I said, it's really simple. I'm writing a new book. You do the forward and this one is yours. She said, yes. By the way, there's another piece of my brain because as she's doing this, her boobs are popping up and down because that's what happens. And we're completely naked. I'm like, where's the video camera? Well, Vivica and I became friends because I could put the dream together that quickly and make it happen. So she is in fact in the book, and so is Paula. Also, Paula, and if you learn anything today, it is about when you're on the spot, you own that moment. Don't give your power away. Ooh, fascinating little concept, because I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of opportunities you didn't even realize you could have taken that you may have dropped along the way. So I'm at the event that night. And I am really starstruck. I grew up as an ugly little girl. I had a broken nose when I was 8 years old for like 15 years. I had braces on my teeth for 8 years. I was overweight. I was shy. I was whatever. Okay. And so I have a very odd respect for celebrities. I think they're really cool. And I know a lot of them, and they're not that cool, but it doesn't matter. I still have this weird sense of if you're on TV, you must be great. In fact, my first moment on TV, I'm 16 years old with Bob Hope on television. And I remember thinking in my own head, I couldn't imagine, how is he real? Like, he's really it was weird. And if you've ever had that, if you've ever seen an A-lister, you're like, oh, wow. It's odd that they come to life. So Paula and I, turns out I'm kind of famous too. I forget that all the time. I'm sitting at the same table with her. And I'm the one introducing Kevin Harrington at the event as for the Lifetime Achievement Award. But I'm still the little girl, right? And she's on the other side of the table. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, and this is what you guys should all be thinking. If I had the opportunity, what would I be saying? How do I leverage my power in what I want? Cynthia wants to be a speaker. Now, Cynthia, the only thing that you didn't do at that moment, I'm going to ask you all to never do this again. There are words that mean nothing. The words that mean nothing are entrepreneur. If I say I'm an entrepreneur, do you know anything else about me? You don't know what I do. Speaker, what do you speak about? Author, irrelevant. And we say all of these like I'm like a life coach, like it's some bad, none of those mean anything to me. But Cynthia, when you have that one moment, hey, Forbes, you know what? I want to be a speaker. Well, actually, one of my clients did this. She said the same thing when I met her, just like you did. And if I gave you 2 more sentences, you could wow the room. In her case, the sentences are, her name is Terry. hey, Forbes, I really want to be a speaker on stage because as a young girl, I was repeatedly raped by my brother in elementary school. My mom and teachers, nobody listened to me. It was a house of horrors. I had no voice, and my mission right now is to empower women around the world to never suffer the way I did. That's the speaker and author I want to be. That was only 2 more sentences, but I got to tell you, you're like, okay, girl, I'll do anything I can to help support your mission. So Cynthia, that's what I was referring to when I said dream. And not a big dream that would embarrass you enough. And it should always be something you can talk in public because you're out here. And there's a lot of people in this room. When you ignite them, they will put you on their podcast. They will want you to do that. So don't ever be shy and don't miss the opportunity. Now, having said that, don't overtalk the opportunity. Like don't babble on. You get to that little point. So I'm at the table with Paula. And I'm thinking, because this is what I like to do. I'm a problem solver. I'm like, how do I connect to her? How do I not over talk and sound stupid? All these things you go, Forbes, really? You worry about any of this shit? I'm like, and I do. And so I got up. I always have one of these with me. I'd already put one in like a gift bag for her. I knew she was going out on tour. Always do your research if you're going to meet somebody. So I'm going to give you a little heads up. I'm going to ask you guys, I'll ask 3 of you to ask me a question. I would be thinking right now, how can I leverage the question? Get the most out of it, not sound too much, and also benefit the group. So to hear all those logical things that are going on in my head, you should be thinking all those things all the time. So I got up, I went around to her, I got down on my knees next to her. I said, Paula, and I'm so nervous. I'm like, I got to share something with you. I grew up as a very overweight little girl, and I was a dancer. And your music, your videos, and your story are actually what saved me and inspired me. And you're probably one of the reasons that I'm right here. And it's an honor to meet you. And she's like, oh. Now I didn't say, it was very ingratiating, right? And then I said, I know you're going out on tour. I've created a fitness product. I've sold 2 million of these. Take this with you. My card is in there. If you want to know more about it, give me a call and whatever else I said. And then I quickly, before she said anything, kind of got up and sat down in my chair. And I think I was shaking. Okay, Forbes. God, when I get out of my way, I can be Oprah, right? She gets up on stage, does her speech, comes down off the stage and kneels down next to me, grabs my hand and says, Forbes Riley, thank you. I did something I've never done before. And I'm like, what? She said, I get very nervous on stage, right? I threw away my cards and I spoke from my heart. I didn't say anything I'd planned to say, and you inspired me to do that. Are you going to speak tonight as well? I said, yeah. And so she waited for me to say my thing, then invited me to her rehearsals and out on tour. And oh my gosh, right. I know. I'm very honored that when I meet this amazing woman, she goes, Forbes, I love you. Right. So I'm going to encourage you, Cynthia, to share your dream because you seem beautiful and you seem like you have a lot to say. And don't let anybody keep you from that. And don't wait for this thing called permission. You know, I often ask people, so what do you do? And their first question is then, what do you mean personally or professionally? Don't waste that. Don't ask me permission. Just what do you do? What do you want the world to know about you? You've got a minute. Enjoy it. So Kat Breet, who has this big smile on her face. Kat, I'm going to ask you, unmute for a second. Tell me what you do. Unmute, baby.
Hi, thank you for this incredible. I'm grinning like a cat because this is just amazing. Thank you so much. What do? I help people find the courage to step into their own skin. I got caught hiding under a desk at 24 from a very scary EVP. And I want to make sure that 1 million people never feel like that at work. That's what I do.
Bingo. No, you give her a big round of applause. That was so nice. She not only, because if you just said the thing about feeling in your own skin, it was like, oh, wait, I don't know, but now I do. Miss Mary Ann, in your beautiful backdrop. Mary Ann Crump. I love that. It's fun. Oh, it's not. Is it Marilyn? It's Marilyn.
Yeah, Marilyn, like Monroe.
I love that. What do you do?
Well, I'm an expert dream catcher, and I'm here to help support people who are freelancing it and being a solopreneur in their creative fields. And my goal is just to everybody that I get to meet to pour as much love and support. That's it.
Well, no, it's not. And this is why I now coach. No, and I love you. Give me a round of applause. That was just so sweet between the Maryland and everything you did. Now, so here's what I'm up to lately. I make a living as an actress and a television host. I've started the X Games for ESPN. I just did another movie out in Kansas City that'll be on Hallmark called A Taste of Romance. You can find me on Amazon Prime. I have a couple of TV series, and I've got one movie called How to Train Your Husband. I think I wrote that one, but I didn't. Yeah. And then I still do infomercials. I have a very exciting new infomercial coming out about disinfectants, a thing called Biofoam. Brendan, can you close that door for me, please? And so I still have that part of my career, but not as much as it used to. Then I created a fitness product. I am in the National Fitness Hall of Fame. Had to do that. And I've sold my infomercials a little over $2.5 billion worth of product. Wow. Oh, yay for me. Okay. All that's great. And the world decided to shift. Well, my world shifted before yours did. On January 1st of this year, oh, yay, 2020. January 2nd of this year, my beautiful man on his motorcycle was hit by a kid, ended up in a coma, ICU, broken. I mean, he just won a world championship, and was in a wheelchair for about 5.5 months. There's a picture on his Facebook page. His name is Joshua Self, where I guess he'd lost about 18 pounds of muscle. His before and after picture is pretty insane. But the funny thing is, it was not a before, it was before June. And then he said, screw it. You know what? I'm going back to the gym, even with my cane, and I'm going to go back to where I am. And he set out a why. He said, I'm going to compete in the next Arnold. He's turning 44. And 3 months later, he is bigger and more fit than I've ever seen. What did I get to learn from that? Well, I'm a big isms fan. I call them magnetisms. One of them is you are the sum of the obstacles you overcome. Well, that's helpful if you've been through some disasters. Anybody here, raise your hand if you've been through anything really kind of crappy. You got to raise it. Wendy's going, I don't know. Kathy's like, I have nothing going on in my bullshit. If you haven't been through something crappy, you haven't lived. You have not lived. Because I'll tell you what, that means your life is boring as shit. If you have got high highs, you have got to have low lows. It seems to be the way the roller coaster goes. Otherwise, if you go up, it just doesn't have for any of us. The problem for most of us is we get up there. Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. By the way, we don't usually celebrate enough. Then you get really down, like, oh, why me? Well, what do you mean bullshit? Of course it's why you. Why not you? Life is about how you handle it, not about what happens to you. So my big ism is life happens for you, not to you. Great. And by the way, you get more story from the crappy things. My daughter, when she was little, said, Mom, I go to do all these motivational speeches. How come that every speaker's like, I slept in my car. I had a horrible life. Well, because they got nowhere to go from. It's the back up that's actually the more exciting story, isn't it? You watch a movie, the hero's journey, he always ends up in some serious trouble before he wins. That's the way it goes. But nobody taught us that. Nobody prepared us for massive, death and grieving and people who screw you over and whatever happens to you. I'm going to say that's the better training. I can tell who's failed in business. Well, that's what the lessons were. Here, what not to do. Yes. And so out of all of this, one, and I know he doesn't like to hear this, what came out for him, I believe, was a sense that he needed to do it on his own, that he needed to maybe take a step back and remember that he's a 3D graphic artist and sit in front of his computer. And that maybe the story coming back would in fact inspire more other people than just being fit. Let me tell you something, that picture, that story is pretty powerful. So for me, I've had a lot of these ups and downs. March, April of this year was like, whoa, no income whatsoever, aside from, investments and things. I'm like, what are we doing here? And I have this beautiful set of twins. They're 17, turning 18 in 2 weeks. And my daughter, who's always been an internet marketer, and she's always been a visionary. And the funny thing about kids is we don't really pay attention to them. We just don't. How smart could they be, right? My 8-year-old daughter comes up to me, hey, Mom, can you give me $100? What do you want? Well, there's a thing called Bitcoin. I want to invest in it. Go away. I'm busy. Mom, hey, what? The Bitcoin went up to $500. I'm like, I don't even know what a Bitcoin is. Can you leave me alone? Hey, Mom, Bitcoin's at $10,000 and you're an idiot. Listen to me. I'm like, I'm so sorry. How would I know that you knew that stuff? You're 8, 10. All right. Let me tell you something. I have a little prodigy here I should have listened to. She started her first dropship company when she was 12. And she's been making money all along. And then she started doing funnel building for people. Joe Theismann, NFL, she built his YouTube page. She charges $5,000 a funnel. And next thing I know, it's like, Kenny, you got some serious taxes to pay and you're like in school. But the funny thing was when we went into her guidance counselor, I got called in. Imagine me having as your mother. That would be so crazy. And the teacher's like, your daughter's being a little disruptive. We're doing how to make a resume, and she refuses to do it. And, she's going to need a resume. She's going to get a job after school. I said, well, and then she keeps telling us she won't need a job. You need a job after school. And we kind of both sat down with the guidance counselor and said, yeah, I don't think she's going to need a job after school. Well, why do you say that? I said, because she's going to probably be employing all of you. Yeah, well, let me tell you something. It didn't go over very well because the guidance counselor, she has no idea what I was talking about. And I kind of said, can I show her? You want to see her tax returns? Because she makes more than you do. I didn't say it like that. And maybe I did. I don't really remember, because at some point I'm like, the education you're doing is stupid. By the way, here's another funny thing about high schoolers. If you asked me, hey, Forbes, what do you do? And I said, wow, I'm studying Spanish. I'm doing calculus. I've got a history. I'm doing also science and biology. You go, Forbes, could you just please focus? What are you doing? You're all over the place. That is what a high schooler does. Oh, I just do one thing all day and barely get it done right. Funny thing, hire a high schooler. They're very good at managing their time and hitting deadlines and getting A's and having consequences. As adults, we don't have a lot of consequences. So we sat down in May, and said, Mom, people love what you do. You're not really online to the max. I think this is where it's going. I said, I like the Zoom thing too. She said, no, it's real. You want to invest in Zoom right now. And what do you want to be teaching? I said, well, I teach pitch, and I have classes that I've done live in my studio. And she's like, I don't think lives happen anymore. And actually, she's also the one who made me stock up my refrigerator. So I'm listening. So we sat down and said, okay, because I've always had an issue with the internet. This little box thing is two-dimensional. I like filing cabinets. I like seeing papers. I don't remember what I called a file that's stuck in Google Docs. What did I put? And I get frustrated. Raise your hand if you're over 12 and you're frustrated by computers at all. Right. Raise your hand if you ever said, what do I do? Kajabi, Thinkific, ActiveCampaign, Infusionsoft, MailChimp. What? Okay, here's the problem, you guys. We all are old enough and have grown up while the systems were being built. So you wanted, Shopify. Oh, that fine, I can sell something. I don't have to do WooCommerce on a WordPress. All of a sudden, yes, drag and drop happened. But it happened as we were building. So she comes in and she's only known the cell phone. She said, Mom, it's really frustrating. People walk up to teenagers all the time and say, you guys think you know everything. She's like, look, you give me a cell phone in 5 minutes. I do know everything. I don't have to memorize what river George Washington went. It's right here. And it's like, oh, hey, Ron, I'll get to you at the end of this, I promise. So it's a fascinating concept. So she said, Mom, I think the whole email sequence. Then the other final thing that became very apparent to me. And so she's building funnels and working. Everybody know ClickFunnels? Okay, so we've been doing ClickFunnels since day one. She's always had profitable funnels. I get to speak at the stage of 10X2. Has anybody ever seen that? Probably one of my absolute highlights and lowlights. And I will only tell you that story privately, because as a woman, we have a distinct advantage and disadvantage. I have some serious insider tips about what that is, but I won't share it publicly, but I will share it privately, because I have hit the zenith. I have been the only female on a platform of all men, and how it happens and why it's not as pretty as you think and how I would have done it differently is pretty good information. But I will tell you, this particular speech, this kind of changed my life.
This has been months in the making and a lifetime to actually get here.
When I heard her story, it just touched my heart.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving.
She brought the house down.
Forbes rally is amazing.
Grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win.
It took everything I am as a human being over the last 4 months to get right here.
And it makes a crazy story of massive success and massive transparency. This, by the way, this is just coming out, and just shot this. Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley. I'm known as a $2.5 billion television host because I've sold that much product on television via infomercials and home shopping. Yeah, I've been keeping you up late at night, you didn't even know it. Well, right here exclusively on VRLU, I am launching the Billionaire Business Blueprint. It is my 5-step secret to success. I gotta tell you, you gotta learn to earn.
from personally fit, professionally fit, spiritually fit, financially fit, and physically fit. You combine those together through thousands of interviews that I've done personally with millionaires and billionaires. These are the secrets that they don't share with anybody else. I am very, very jazzed about that. That company just came to me. That is in 3D, and they shot it in my television studio. I hadn't really put on makeup except for Zoom in almost a year. I was pretty blown away that they shot it, and within days, I got to actually have, wow, it's launching. So, I know. Thank you. So what happened was I took all of this online. I discovered that I freaking love this platform. I do a couple of things. One, I discovered that we all need a mailing list, right? And what to do with it, but how to get one. There's two philosophies. One, I don't ascribe to. I do not ascribe to you having to do a summit. I've done a lot of summits as a guest, and I don't really want to, and I don't think a lot of famous people want to give you access to my list. That's not the right thing to do, because my list also doesn't necessarily want to be doing anything other than what I want them to do. And so, but the goal is for you to build your list. I said, wait a second. Here's how you build a list. You do, and I created a thing called OPP, other people's platforms. You strategize over all the things that you need, which takes a while, by the way. It's a real business plan for you. You celebritize who you are in your world. And there's not a secret, it's a formula to do that. You don't have to become famous, but you have to become famous in your world. And there's a system. And then the thing I never used to do was monetize. I used to go on all these morning talk shows and everything, and I would never monetize anything. I didn't understand the system because they never let you sell. So you don't sell, but then you walk away going, oh, yay, that's great. I'm what? In fact, I was looking at this, not monetizing things. Oh, I'm in a book, right? Success Factors. Lots of famous people in the book. There's Tony Robbins in this book. There's Eric Roberts in this book. Lots of fun people. But if we're driving all of this traffic to this, wait, I love this particular one. It's a coffee table book. There's Tony. And oh, look, she must be famous too, because there's Forbes Riley. But if you don't leverage it and understand it, you don't monetize anything. I learned that the hard way. And this is what I'm now teaching. How you build a list for free and how you're going to monetize what you've got so that you don't have to always be struggling. I'm tired of people struggling. I put an affiliate program in place, and Linda knows this, that is just designed. Did you guys have fun with me today? Yeah. Is it worth $19 to come hang out with me for an hour? Listen to me talk. Would you pay $19? Yes. If you don't, you got to leave right now. So I created a system, and I'm happy to offer this to you guys because I write checks every week, and I don't have employees that I write checks. So this was one of my missions, was how do you write checks to people so that they can stop being broke? Like I grew up with no money. And so on Sunday, I do teach a class. It's $19. I invite you to come. In fact, I'll give Linda, you can decide. I think people should pay to come to it so they understand the pain of paying $19. But here's the crazy thing is you're going to come through a link and Linda's going to get all those $19. Uh-oh. Yeah. Why not? You get 100% commission when you come. So now once you've come to that class and Kat or Ron or Whitney, you guys, hey, Forbes, come speak on my platform. Every time I say, you'll get all of that money. Well, doesn't that want to invite you? You want me on your platform now, don't you? Because I tend to enroll a lot of people. If I get 100 people on Sunday, Linda's going to get a check for $1,900. Would that make Linda happy? And I'd like to make Linda happy. But here's the best part. If through my amazing skill, I have two classes that I teach. I teach a thing called Media Mastery, which is how to pitch, which is what I've been doing to you guys, and then how you do it on camera. I've only made my money on camera. $2.5 billion right through a TV lens. And then I teach a 6-week OPP on how I told you what I just did to get where you want to go, right? Okay. So now if any of those students who came on Sunday level up to the next level, come here for a sec, she gets more money. You can get up to $500 per student. Come here for a second. The princess just came home. Come here. I have a whole summit of people. Come say hi. This is McKenna. Oh.
Hi. I have a summit too.
You have a summit? Okay, that's nice.
I need to use this setup.
Oh, you need to use the setup? Well, I'll be off in a little bit. What time is your summit?
2.
Yeah, okay, I'll be off by 2, I promise. So we're just talking. Tell everybody how amazing your mom is.
She's pretty cool.
No, seriously. I'm explaining how they can make money. Tell them what you're up to just for a minute.
So I've put together a system. I work with entrepreneurs. We've been working with entrepreneurs for a while now. And what I realize is a lot of you guys struggle to get the back end of things up. That's in the funnels, the emails, the ads, and marketing what you're doing. Like you guys are great front people, but that back end it's just always, and they don't master it. You need 2 people to run this entrepreneurial business. But the problem is that second person that does all that back end stuff starts at $15,000. Most of the time starts at $100,000 just to get started, which is absurd. So knowing this and knowing that my entrepreneur students, I used to teach marketing. So I used to teach marketing. They weren't picking it up. So I said, you know what, let me get you a done for you system. So this Thursday, we're coming out with a completely done for you, just everything completely done. Like as if you were getting an entire marketing team like on your team pretty much. And can I say a link?
I'll put the link in there. How old are you?
17.
Are you graduated high school yet?
No, but
how did we what did we do launching A trainings? Just how we launched what we did. I just told them the story that
what did we do? We asked each other, what are you doing every day? She was working, just focusing on not focused on anything. My big thing I learned from Warren Buffett is to get anything done, focus on one thing and you can do it. But one thing alone. And she didn't understand that concept, wouldn't work with me on that. So she was like, I want to do a million things. I want to do this, which us entrepreneurs love to do. And she wasn't getting anything done though. She was great at starting things, but not finishing. So I said, you know what? Let me know when you have nothing to do. And one day I would come down every day, be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? One day she said, I'm not doing anything. I'm doing absolutely nothing. And I said, great, let's start a business. And we went from there. And I said, you can only focus on this. It's the only way we can do this. And you know what that one focus allowed us? Instead of doing a million different projects, we did 6 figures in 1 month because we focused on one thing. So
it was $25,000 the first week and we were both kind of shocked. Mm-hmm. So really quick, I was just up to the story where I was on stage at 10X with Russell Brunson. You walked up to Russell and what did you say? You just like, I couldn't believe she did it. She's like, oh, Russell, I know you. You know what, Russell, I make more money than my high school teachers, but I got to tell you, there's some problems with ClickFunnels.
I definitely did not say that. I'm not an egotistical person.
Did you tell him there were some problems with the system?
Yeah, I definitely said there were. And then he was like, actually, I don't do the system. And so, but with ClickFunnels and with all of that, I have now realized that entrepreneurs, first off, a lot of you guys are ADHD. I know that with entrepreneurs, that tends to be the common trend there. And who hates having tons of tabs open? ActiveCampaign, ClickFunnels, Lucky Orange, Facebook, one system, housing it all. That's what we're coming out with this Thursday, because I realized that like tabs, I can recommend you to 500 different sites that I use 16 different softwares to keep everything we're doing
spend running. A fortune.
You spend an absolute fortune. So if you could cut your cost in half and only have one tab open, how do you think that would affect your business?
All right, if Russell Brunson wore a dress. Yeah, I love you. I love you. All right, I will give that site to you. I love you. And if you do go, I don't know how, she's just talking about it on Thursday. Where do they have to go on Thursday, Kenny?
Free gift from McKenna.
Free gift from McKenna. All right, so go to Free Gift from McKenna. And if anybody here signs up, we'll talk about how that works because there's not even a program yet. Free gift from McKenna.
It's a free training.
It's a free training on Thursday. I have a business right now because of that little girl. I wouldn't be here because of her. I would still be doing all the silly little things I do. She got it organized and it's been phenomenal. I can't wait for her to help other people because we've gotten a lot of students to go through my trainings and then everyone gets to that end point where they've got a product or service, but oh my God, the marketing part, the emails, the part that I didn't like either. She created a done for you primarily for me and all of our students who are just kind of suffering because at the end of the day, all I want you guys to do is make money and be happy. I don't need to take your money. I like the idea of making you money. So that's what we're up to. I probably have 2 or 3 more minutes. I appreciate that. She literally just came home from working all night. Veronica, ask me a question. I know, right?
Oh my God, I love this. This is fantastic.
Thank you. And thank Linda.
So million dreams come true. Supporting entrepreneurial women so they don't have to pay for all of these different things in order to grow their business. That is my jam right now. And that is what I want to do. And listening to you have all of these pieces in place, I totally manifested this moment with McKenna. Just so you all know, thank me.
Well, I'll tell you what, the other thing that she did, because I had another big problem. I don't know if you're old enough to remember Murphy Brown. Murphy Brown had 99 assistants. I don't keep assistants very well. Number one, I inspire them out of a job. I do. I'm always see potential for them and they leave. I've had 100 assistants and they've left for all different reasons. They've started companies, they've had babies, who knows? She said, Mom, virtual assistants. I'm like, I don't work real well virtually. She said, because you don't know how. We have 3 virtual assistants now. And then she said, I'm going to create an agency because I know what people want. Now, okay, one big sales tip, everyone write this down right now. One big sales tip you all need. Stop telling your clients and other people what they need
and give them what they want. And that will change your business. Anytime you hear the word need, oh, God, you really need it. No, I don't need it. Get me to say I want it, and then I will sign up everywhere, because we all want to buy things. We all do want things to make our lives better. So she listened to me and all of my students say, how do you deal with a virtual assistant? Do they do that? Do they help you with this? And she said, no. So she now set up an agency with her partner in the Philippines and said, we're going to train a group of people and match an assistant, and then train the assistant on the system we're using, and also how to understand an American entrepreneur. Here's what they need, so you can tell them what they need. This is the game changer. I don't want to suffer anymore. I just want to be talking. And I know a lot of you want to do that too. So imagine if we just took the roadblocks. I will still teach you how to pitch, how to be on camera, how to tell your stories, how to tell your dreams. I love this part. That's all I want to do. She can do all the rest. And then you guys get to come play and be on, be here. I'm looking at Nucha. What a beautiful, I know I see you guys. What a beautiful background you have. Nucha, come on real quick. Ask me a quick question. Oh, I think she disappeared. She hit the wrong button. She felt completely off. I don't know. Where did you go?
No, she's there. She's
there. You are. Hi.
Okay. Something just popped up on my screen. I don't know. A quick question. It's putting me on a
comment.
Okay. When you reach your level of success, how did you know you reached your certain level of success? And did you know that you can grow from there any further?
Oh my gosh, what a beautiful question. I have no idea in the success ladder where I am. I wake up every morning going, you think Oprah wakes up and go, whoa, I'm like Oprah. I know that, and by the way, I was famous long before I realized I was on Facebook. There's there's pages dedicated to movies I've starred in. I had no idea. I still don't know. I still get all excited. The only reason I think that people know who I am is they ask me to be on the cover of magazines, and people like Linda say, hey, be on my podcast. For me, I'm not famous. I'm not successful. Now what? So shoot. Great story. I love telling stories. Here's all I want. The success for me means that you're going to invite me to come speak everywhere. I just want to do that. That means that I'm interesting. That is successful. However, I remember going to a Hollywood party many years ago, and the valet who parked my car kind of looked down on his nose because my car was a stick shift Toyota Corolla that I bought. I own that car. But he had just parked the Bentley in the Rolls, so he kind of had that attitude. And I'm very energy sensitive. And I went into the party, and everybody was richer and famous, more beautiful than I was. I don't drink. A little bit of wine you saw the other night, but not much. And I left because I got so physically uncomfortable because I'm really shy. I'm fun when I talk to you guys and I can do all this, but I'll also go home and just sit in my house and hang out with my man and watch movies. One day my girlfriend comes to me and said, Forbes, you're the most successful person I know. And I said, Christine, is it because I'm on TV and I'm doing this and I'm going to award shows? She says, no. She said, because you can walk across the floor in high heel shoes and I never will. Christine Gardner got cerebral palsy. She'll never walk. Because of my faith and love in her, she became valedictorian of her class at 19. And last year, proudest moment that we've ever had together, she called and said, I won 2019 Miss Wheelchair, and she went off to the Nationals. That was powerful. And so I know I'm successful because I can walk, because you guys are listening to me, because you're smiling, because something I said today touched your heart. That means I'm successful. I'm not going to stop doing this. My mentor is Jack LaLanne, who at 96, every day, anybody who would listen to him, he talked. You can't retire from this. You can't retire from life. I'm going to keep going and doing until that's the last breath that I have. And I have an award show coming up called The Excellies. I just launched this December 9th. And a lot of my VIP members are getting to say a couple of minutes. And I said, Joshua, do you want to say anything at the award show? He said, yeah. He said, I want to tell all you students how much I freaking hate them. I said, excuse me? He said, yeah, you spend 6 days a week, nights teaching. I hardly get to see you lately. I hate them. I want you back. And I said, well, you know what? I'm kind of on a mission because all of a sudden people do want to listen to me. And I love this so much that I'm not stopping. So I don't think he really hates it. I think he's just a little jealous. And hopefully one day I will be so successful that I don't have to work hard to fill my rooms. When I show up on here, there's hundreds of people going, please, please, please come meet us. And every time somebody tells me and writes me a note that says I inspired them, that's my success bank. That's how I know I did something really cool today. Miss Amy, you look like you learned a lot today, or got inspired, or confused, or excited. I don't know. Give me an aha from right now. Thank you. I do love that. So Linda, what do you think? Yes, you're still muted.
This is amazing. First of all, I know that McKenna needs your system in like 4 minutes. So we have 4 minutes left. But Forbes, I want to thank you for, for this. This is absolutely amazing. It always is. Every time I, bring you into the spotlight, you're always shining as always. But I wanted to make sure to invite everybody tomorrow. So Forbes does this every Sunday. And just like Joshua said, she gives 6 days a week to people because she wants to help them grow. And she's helped me tremendously. But so just for $19, I put the link here in the chat. Go sign up. It's only $19. And it's, for me, it's like she mentioned, it's not about the $19. Like, yeah, I'll get your $19. Awesome. But that's not what it's about. It's about what you're going to get at that session. And Forbes, it was absolutely amazing. Patty says 50 minutes went by like a flash. Exactly. What I would love to do, Forbes, we have 3 minutes left. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is I want you to introduce our next speaker, who is your partner, Trainer Jane.
Oh, yes. There you go. Oh, that's kind of wonderful. All right, that is actually easy. So actually, I met Jane many years ago in Toronto. Toronto's been one of the hotbeds for me. I did my Jacqueline Juicer infomercial there. There's Home Shopping up there, both of which have been staples to my life. And I talk about manifesting. And this beautiful woman came on one day who I actually met in person, which is a picture of me spin gymming. And she came into my life and she does something that just totally pisses me off. She likes the word selling. I hate the word selling. I like the word pitching. We're totally at odds. And we have I have to have a fisticuff thing here. Because to me, pitching is about exciting, engaging, and enrolling. She sells, which is like, oh. But apparently, since I've sold $2.5 billion, we must agree on something. And what we agreed on is truly that you can manifest anything you want if you communicate, if you are giving enough to people. And I will bring her on in just a second because she is not only an amazing partner. So I teach this program. I also teach one other thing that I'm going to throw out to all of you. I do a thing that's been a heart-centered thing for the last 25 years called breakthrough. I personally had a breakthrough, start out when I was 31 years old. If I hadn't met that trainer and gone through that, all the emotional baggage of my past that I kind of bluffed off would have kept me where I was. We would not be talking. I was angry. I was a user of people. No one taught me the human skills. And that I find from your parents and bullies, you don't have a roadmap for moving forward. So I created this training called Breakthrough, and I love it. I only do it once a month. I only have 12 people at a time, and it will always remain that. And it's very, very reasonable. It's under $1,000, and it completely transforms your life. I highly recommend if you are stuck or anyone that you know, it's the thing that I live for. I love this so much. So Jane took all of my trainings and said, you know what, Forbes, what if we condensed your training into an 8-day thing? And what if we took my selling on the spot marketplace and made my speakers better, more open, better communicators to close more deals, to sell more? We did that, and we launched an 8-day training program together. And we're in the middle of this one right now. And I honor her for seeing the white space. She tells people that she manifested that. When we were doing an I Want exercise, she said, I want to work with Forbes. And you know what? Within 2 days, she reached out to me. We had a plan. We executed it. We've just finished our second program. That to me is the kind of ingenuity. And I'll put that out there to all of you. Steve Sambliss, I met him one night by accident. He had LinkedIn something and I connected with him. I heard his platform was called One Habit. I said, have you ever done a thing called One Habit for Entrepreneurial Success? He said, no. I said, how long do most people take to write a book? He said, 3 to 6 months. I said, let's do it in 24 hours. I put it out to my Facebook group called the Forbes Riley Inner Circle. In 24 hours, we had 50 authors signed up and ready to go. Whitney Wiley is over there as one of our supporters. Jane completely dove into that as well. She is like Linda. There's the book, biggest entrepreneurial book ever. If you, by the way, want to be an Amazon bestseller, we have a next book coming out and it's that fast. It's already out there. We'll grandfather you in. I know you need to go jump on right now. So I'm going to leave. I'm going to give the stage to Ms. Trainer Jane. She is in red because red is about motion and energy and passion. To Linda West, the sunshine is there because you brighten up everything. You guys, I will see you on Sunday. Do her proud and let's continue the conversation tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. I got to go, guys. Bye.
Everybody, thank you, Forbes. Woo, woo.